Okay. A la one, a la two, a la one, two, three. Hi, we are the Wixie Crazies, and we are going to talk about the book Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies was published in 1954. It was the first novel of the British author William Golding, and without doubt is the most emblematic and well-known work. Moreover, he was awarded with the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1983. He was born in 1911 and died at the age of 81 in 1993. The Lord of the Flies came out right after the Second World War. At first it did not have great success, but it soon went to become a bestseller. In the period between 1945 and 1955, a nostalgic look at lost pre-war past was combined with a look of new reality faced by the generation growing up in the 1940s. This book tells the story of a group of young boys who find themselves alone in a desert island. They develop rules and a system of organization, but without any adults to serve as civilizing impulse. The children eventually become violent and brutal. In the context of the novel, the tale of the boys descend into chaos suggests that human nature is fundamentally savage. The Lord of the Flies is an allegorical novel considered part of the classic English literature of post-war period. This book is considered in this literary movement because it came out right after the Second World War and the story takes place in that time.
In the book, there is an idea that civilization contains the seeds of corruption and it analyzes the childhood as the site where adult civilized values are implanted. The book has 12 chapters and there is also a movie based on the book and realized under the same name. Lord of the Flies is an American film directed by Harry Cook and released in 1990. The book is written in third person, and for his position in the story, it has an extra diegetic narrator and extra-diegetic narrator is outside of the story. On the other side, if we classify the narrator for his knowledge, we have an omniscient narrator because he knows everything about the characters, even their feelings. However, in some parts of the book, the writer also uses the first person by adding some dialogues between the characters. The characters, as we mentioned, are children and they all have different personalities. One of the main characters is Ralph, who is a 12 years old young man of great education and characterized by acting with logic even in the wrong situations. He is chosen as the leader by the other children and he is the representative of democracy. Then we have Jack, who is a young blonde boy, highly arrogant with a pessimistic attitude. He is against Ralph and at the beginning of the novel, he does not seem to be violent. But as the plot goes on, his attitude begins to change and his violence is.
Another important character is Piggy. He's always loyal to Ralph, and for his size and weight, he's always the object of the taunts of others. He's obese, he wears glasses, and is sick with asthma. Nowhere in the book they call him by his name, and he's a representative of reason and knowledge. The main theme in Lord of the Flies is human nature, a thing that has been discussed since ancient days. Are we naturally good, naturally evil, or something else entirely? This is a question that rules the entire novel. In the book, the author creates a microcosm of the human being when he is left without rules, and therefore the characters represent fundamental natures. Ralph represents order, Piggy represents knowledge, Jack represents violence, and Simon represents good. In the book Lord of the Flies, we identify that the main leitmotif is the shell. The shell is used in several scenes of the book to organize the children. The children have imposed these rules by themselves, and consequently, the shell represents the social, political, and discursive rules. The show is also important when they decide to vote for a boss, and it also has the power to quiet the children and force them to listen to wisdom. Then during the story, as more boys join Jack's tribe, the shell's color fades, and finally, when Piggy is killed trying to protect it, the reason and order in the island also get lost.
So we recommend this book basically because it's a short and easy to read. It's a really great book, which has a little bit of everything. It's very exciting. So what makes this book interesting is that the fact that the children are in an island. So there is no one to tell them what to do. The authors talks about this huge philosophical question: are humans good by nature or not? At the beginning, they try to follow a system as their parents have taught them, but they can't. So this book is very different from other books. The kids don't really have stereotypes. So these books try to find the real behavior of the human nature and inside of all of us. So they create a new system, their system. So if you like this great book, if you like reading, sorry, you will like this great book.
That's all, teacher.